Okay, we've now reached the item in the course introduction of looking at the syllabus, so we get some details about how the course will proceed and what we'll be doing. Let me just move forward. You saw who I was. You found out a little bit about me. You got to introduce yourself. You did assignment. We talked about a moral problem. Uh, you you actually wrote about that moral problem. Um, Okay, now here we're in the syllabus. Courses Philosophy, or PHI for short, 6800-01. That is section oh 01. The CUNY first ID number for this is 17155. The official name title of the course is Ethical Problems in Business and Society. For shorthand, I just call it Business Ethics. Oh, well, I've introduced myself. I'm the instructor. My office is in T8110B. And my telephone number there is 718-368-6823, but I rarely check my voicemail there, so you're probably better off trying to get in touch with me via, my email. And I have an email address just for my students. I have reserved it. It is prof.legum@gmail.com, Prof. dot Legum, Legum. You went through those slides introducing me. You know there isn't the second G, Legum, so prof.legum@gmail.com. That's probably the best. If you need an answer in any kind of timely fashion, that is the best way to get in touch with me. Send a message to that email address. I check it very often. The one below that is my official Kingsborough email, richard.legum@kbcc.cuny.edu. If you have some official correspondence with me, that is, you are officially contesting a grade, you're dropping the course, you're withdrawing, something else, some official thing that you need, send that to me at the official CUNY address, the Kingsborough address. And by the way, a good idea is send me also another email telling me there's an email that I need to address in my Kingsborough account, and that's probably the fastest way to get to me with that. My office hours as of now are Tuesday at 11, from 11 to 2, and by appointment. I'm not going to be in my I might not be in my office at any given time. I might get on with you I might get have office hours with you via phone or via Zoom. So make sure you get in touch with me. Please let me know in advance that you're going to be there. That way, I will make sure that either I will be there, or if something comes up and I cannot be there, I will get in touch with you. And one thing that I want you to think about is the basic question in ethics, in philosophy, is how should I live my life? That's a fundamental question of morality that's confronting everyone. And this course is going to help you discover the answers to this question, especially in a very specific field. That field, here, let's see, the catalog description says the application of normative ethical theories to moral issues in business and technology, such as employee rights and responsibility, honesty, in advertising, diversity and discrimination, privacy, and corporate responsibility. That's what and that's a pretty wide range of problems that we may be discussing, but that's the catalog description. And just so you know, at Philosophy 6800 fulfills the CUNY Pathways Flexible Core Group A World Cultures and Global Issues requirement. That is, if you're not familiar with the CUNY Pathways Flexible Core requirements, there are certain ones I'm sure you know about the math and the English requirement, and also CUNY has set up a system to facilitate your moving from college to college within the CUNY system and making sure you get credit. But they want to make sure that at all the colleges that you have a wide-ranging education, a good breadth of education, and they've identified 5 core groups. This course satisfied the requirement to take one course in Group A, World Cultures and Global Issues. So passing this course will fulfill that graduation requirement at CUNY. Okay, now the real course description, or I should say a more detailed one, And one that's more specific about what we're going to be doing is that the course, an introduction to the application of normative ethical theory. Oh my God, that's the second time you've seen this word, normative ethical theories. What the heck is that talking about? Well, basically, that is a philosophical theory of what makes certain actions or certain things right or wrong, good or bad, and we'll talk more about it. But we're going to talk about the applying these ethical theories that philosophers have come up to explain our moral judgments to moral issues that arise in business and society. In fact, we're going to be um, seeing how to apply these philosophical theories to resolve contemporary moral issues in business and society, such as sexual harassment, whistleblowing, issues of trust, loyalty, truth, loyalty, and trust. Talk about property rights, issues socialism versus capitalism, different concepts, and something that's called insider trading, having to do with ownership of company and trading stocks in companies. We're going to use these ethical dilemmas in business society as they're depicted in recent movies. Recent, I have a pretty broad range of years. That means probably since movies have been invented. But we're going to use these as cases for ethical analysis to help us get a deeper understanding of what the problems are and start to develop ways to try to resolve the issues. Okay, now one thing you should bear in mind is this is a philosophy course, and philosophy focuses on the reasons we have for believing certain things about morality, certain things are moral or immoral, rather than focusing on what in fact people believe. So it's really going to be important to find out what the reasons are that underlie people's belief and to see if these are good reasons. We're going to be examining the most influential ethical and moral theories that have been proposed recently, that is, modern theories, have been proposed to explain and justify ethical judgments of the conduct of business in society today, and it's going to be throughout the world. Now, there are going to be certain things that if you successfully complete this course, you're going to be able to do. And among them is, first of all, you're going to be able to identify moral problems confronting economic life and business throughout the world. You're going to be able to understand, analyze, and explain the ethical issues that arise during the conduct of business, like sexual harassment, whistleblowing, insider trading. That is, you're going to be able to explain what the ethical dimensions of these issues are. You're going to understand the leading modern, let's say, moral theories, utilitarianism, sometimes called consequentialism, deontology, rule-based ethical theories, and ethical relativism. And the first two, I think, are really the main ones that I'm going to be concerned. And we will talk about ethical relativism because it is very often appealed to in making moral judgments today. I think that that's a big mistake, but I'm going to explain my reasons why. And certainly, I'm not going to force you to adopt any theory that just because I think it's right. Rather, we're teaching you how to think about it and how you should make these decisions. And you're going to be able to apply these theories in to solve various moral issues or see how people who held these theories would resolve these moral issues. And it's going to help you make decisions related to morality of business practices through the analysis and evaluation of moral reasoning and arguments. You're going to be able to better evaluate moral reasoning and arguments, and you're going to understand the moral underpinning of capitalism, communism, and socialism that have shaped the world's societies and economic systems. Now, in this course, there are no required books, but we will be, as I mentioned, and that doesn't mean that there won't be required readings, by the way. I will be posting readings that you will make, but there are movies that are available for rental on YouTube. I'm going to try to make them available to you for free. I'm going to look into a mechanism for that. If I do that, you'll hear about it. If not, you may have to rent these to watch them. But the ones that we're going to be talking about are the movie Wall Street, 1987 movie. You see it starring Charlie Sheen and Michael Douglas. You might have heard of both of them, fairly famous movie stars. Movie Disclosure. Um, it's about sexual harassment. Michael Douglas is in that movie again. And the movie called The Insider, which is about whistleblowing in the tobacco industry. Very good. These are great movies, and they're great. Um, they are great. They provide great examples for us to understand the moral issues that come up in the practice of business and expect to watch these movies and take notes of them and understand them pretty well. I have some optional recommended books, especially if you're having difficulty. That is, there's something called the Cartoon Introduction to Philosophy. People like to call these sometimes it's a graphic textbook, or you've heard the word graphic novel. It's a cartoon. It really has cartoons. But what's very interesting about it is the content of this is absolutely great and helps you understand basic concepts and what is philosophy, what are the problems they study. We are going to be talking about that through the course of the semester. I will give you some reading of it, but I certainly recommend it's about a $15 book. It's a very interesting book. Another book, Hornbook Ethics, about $12 or $13. Shorter book, no pictures in it, or very few pictures, if any. Um, some of it gets a little bit complicated, but it's an introductory text to ethics. So if you're having some difficulty and want some additional reading, that's a good place to go. And finally, there's a book that I used to use in the course, and I probably will give you a chapter or two to read out of it, called The Ethics of Business. And this one in particular, I think, will go through all of the kind of information that you need to know. And it's a helpful book. I used to use it in the course, and as I said, we're going to be reading a little bit out of one of the chapters.